Yo, what's up? Yes, we are back in the car. But let's talk about how AI drives the RAM price surge. It's a wild time for computer hardware right now. If you've noticed, prices have been creeping up, and this is more you seeing the results of a massive shift in how the world's biggest chip makers are currently operating. Essentially, the AI gold rush has created a vacuum that is sucking up the global supply of memory chips. And here's a breakdown of why that is happening. Manufacturers are chasing HBM, the big money, right? AI giants like Nvidia, Google, Microsoft need specific memory called HBM, which is high bandwidth memory, if I'm not mistaken, for the AI super chips like the H100 and Blackwell. The conflict is that HBM is built using the same raw materials and factory lines as standard DDR4 and 5 RAM. The result of this is companies like Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron are basically prioritizing high bandwidth because the profit margins are much higher. This basically leaves the scraps for the consumer market, causing a shortage of RAM sticks, right? Now we get to point number 2, the double price spike, right? So recent industry data from late 2025 shows that contract prices for memory have skyrocketed, right? So some reports indicate that DRAM prices have surged by over 170% year over year, actually outpacing the price growth of gold in some months, actually. So for laptops and phones, because RAM is their core component, brands like Dell and Lenovo have already begun raising prices on laptops, desktops by as much as 30% to cover their own increased costs globally. Which brings me back to point number 3, deliberate supply cuts, right? Memory manufacturers spent most of 2023 and early 2024 dealing with oversupply, which is basically too much stock with low prices, right? So to fix their profits, they basically slashed production, and now that AI has virtually exploded, right? They haven't turned down the taps back on consumer RAM, choosing instead to keep the supply tight and keep their prices high. So what to expect for 2026, right? Most analysts suggest that this super cycle isn't ending soon, with new AI